God says today, step out of time-bound thinking and into the eternal framework of your genuine life. God urges today. You are not constrained by time. You are not constrained by a calendar year, a calendar month, or a calendar day. I am the God of time and eternity, and you have time because I have time. My glory is pouring in, declares the Father, and time is not running out. My wind is at your back, and my favor goes before you to straighten the crooked path and reopen the doors of blessing and opportunity that have been slammed in your face in the past. Adopt the Christ mind, for that is when the winds and oceans obey and all creation bows to the faith-filled declaration of your heart, because you know and walk in the reality of the price I paid to cause you to be on earth as I am in heaven. The Father claims that pygmy religion can no longer hold the depth of your grasp of the mysteries. Who I am in you now has become the foundation of your walk with me. I am vine-like in you, and I am branch-like in you. I am doing something unexpected and, in some eyes, illegitimate by religious standards in you. I am rewarding you in front of many people because they said I would or could not, but I am God, and I can do whatever I want, whenever I want, and I don't have to consult anyone, so celebrate. There is no salvation in man, nor can his solutions or answers ever satisfy. Only by the perfection of the price paid does the entire dividend of Calvary's abundance enter your life and position. God predicts that change is on the way. The dustman is slipping into obscurity, while the one new man in me, you, is standing tall. The tares in your field are laying down, but the wheat is standing tall, so that you may shine in my glory. God says, enter into that glory by baptism into my death, that you may be immersed in the baptism of my resurrection. God says, come out of the known and into the unknown. Give it to me if you've known pain and grief. God says, let there be a great exchange of beauty for ashes, and the oil of joy now poured out to cleanse away the spirit of mourning. God predicts that sorrow and sighing will flee this day. Light and joy have arrived. The weight is replaced with spiritual rest and stagnation, by my hand's freshness and purification. God says, this is your part, and this is your portion, and your righteousness is of me. You're surrounded by a large crowd of witnesses who have completed their race. Some finished well, while others ascended to me with an unfinished destiny, but my plan for you will not be undone. You felt alone and isolated, but the Father says you are not abandoned, and you are not devoid of the love of those who have gone before you. They wait on the wings of heaven for the culmination of all things that would not be perfected without you. Rest and be comforted in this idea and reality, for my wind is at your back and heaven's acclaim is over your head as you confront every difficulty. Reach out today for the highest and best that I've prepared for you. Because I am not waiting, you do not need to wait and should instead press in. Push in with your faith, words, and pronouncements. Let your lips make the decrees that my word will back up and the entire heaven will support. You have a new day ahead of you. Things that are no longer useful have died. Let the dead and buried things rest in peace, as you press on towards the great destiny I have in store for you. This is your lot, and my love envelopes you like a mantle. My dear, at this moment, my unconditional love wraps you and hugs you so close that the enemy knows how much I love you and is completely disheartened in his onslaught against you, leaving the pitch in defeat. Let a wicked conscience sprinkle my blood on your heart. An evil conscience demands that I do not require any excuse from the more serious problems of judgment, justice, mercy, and loving your neighbor. Go about your day, freeing everyone you meet from the religious mind's harsh rude judgments. Even as you remove the prison of your opinions of others from their lives, I will turn your captivity and leave a blessing behind me that you will be unable to contain. I have not called you to do, says God, but rather to be. It is your lot in life to be the beloved. All obedience, sacrifice, and destiny flow from this location and posture of rest. Work to enter the rest of knowing that I am sufficient. Your entitlement is based on who I am and what I've done, not on who you are or what you can do to impress me religiously. What gift will you send me? That of a contrite and humble spirit. As you draw yourself away with me, that is where I live, and that is the heart I inhabit, says God. The Father continues, I have not called you to an ism or a merely religious expression. I have called you to live in my spirit, which changes the atmosphere and transports you to heavenly places in Christ. The Father says, I stand at the door and knock. Open to me, for my table has been prepared, and everything is ready for the complete benefit of Calvary to be made evident in your day, to address every need in your life, from the smallest annoyance to the heaviest weight. Allow your mouth to pray. My will is revealed in the Word and manifested in answer to your faith-filled prayer. Allow your mouth to pray. I heard you at the appointed time, and I have not excluded or disqualified you in any manner. Because of the power of the blood poured on your behalf, you are qualified for a good response from heaven. Today, the Father says, my word is a lamp to your feet and a light to your path, illuminating the way you should go at the proper time. You will not bear fruit before its time, nor will you lag, for I am connecting you with people who will be your family and clan. Even if you feel alone, you have a place in this repositioning. You don't have to try to figure it out or go looking for those folks. I know how to reach you. Your willingness opens the door, and your obedience prepares you to enter into the destiny that awaits you. There is no reason to let your uncertainties impair your judgment. It no longer has a place in you once you recognize it and put it out. You are intended to think of my ideas, and you can recognize and reject those that do not. As I lead you through the open doors that have been put before you, a profound calm will fill your heart. My word will always be with you, saying, this is how you walk in it. New doors, new prospects, and previously unconsidered possibilities suddenly make sense. Even now, you are experiencing new levels of freedom and delight that you were unaware were attainable. I'm not nearly as disappointed in things as many people believe. Yes, my greatest wish is for everyone to be rescued, and it is a disappointment that not everyone will be, but I know the finish from the beginning. I know how this will end, and I will win because I understand you. The devil does not possess you. He has no more power over you than you grant him by your words, ideas, and actions. If you deny what he's offering, he'll move on to someone else to annoy. The Father says today, yes, even that which appears insurmountable, wait for it will come, and it will be right on time. Waiting is difficult, yet it is an important part of your life. There is no need for faith when you receive everything you want when you want it. The promises are inherited through faith and patience. How would you learn if you didn't have to wait? This period of waiting is not a denial, rather, you are being formed to handle the promises that are manifesting in your life. Be at peace with yourself and your situation to be strong and ready when the time comes. Believe me when I say that this will not always be the case. It's time to refuel, recalibrate, and refire. You are now able to do what you have been preparing for your entire life. It makes no difference whether you are young or old. I have an excellent plan for your life that will increase faith and glory. The expected finish does not imply finality, but rather the location I meant for you to be all along. A sanctuary of liberty and peace, unity, harmony, and repose. According to your standards, it's been a long process, yet everything in my book is on time. When you enter your convergence season, there will be nothing lacking or missing in your life, no obstacle, fear, or uncertainty that can halt your upward motion. When everything starts firing on all cylinders, Murphy's rule no longer applies to you since you've entered the glory zone, and you become a perfect replica of Jesus on earth. God says, "Today, receive of my fullness. My fullness is in you, and it comes to you in a magnificent torrent of power far greater than anything the world can throw at you." Disappointment fixtures are being removed, and bastions of blessing and favor are being erected at the very center of your being. God declares, "You are in the crosshairs of my favor." Others will place a target on your back and boast that I will not walk with you or bless you, but I will dismiss them while I go about doing in you exactly what your adversaries believe I will not or cannot accomplish, because I am God. I can do whatever I want whenever I want. God says, "Rejoice this day," and I repeat, rejoice. Sorrow is fading and leaving. Loss is now just a footnote in the story of my greater faithfulness in your life. Rise, govern, and reign. Get up and take your double portion. I am the God of releasing rather than withholding. I am unleashing my goodness to you, and you will see and rejoice in my greatness. God says, "I look through, not just at what is going on around you, and you will see my hand at work doing the greatest things you have ever witnessed in me and making you the very poster child and exemplar of my manifest goodness in the earth in a moment." According to the Father, the fire of my glory is being discharged at this hour. The prayers of expectation are taking shape and causing change in your life, both individually and collectively. I accomplish nothing until I first expose it to my prophets, my servants. I am now igniting you on the inside, which will manifest on the outside. This day, my presence goes before you, and you find peace for your soul since it is yoke easy and burden light time. Yes, I provide you calm amid chaos and suffering. Speak simply the word, and the sick will be healed, the lame will walk, the blind will see, and the dead will be restored to life. Are you kidding me? To the believer, anything is possible. Everything becomes lovely in my presence. You are a carrier of glory. You can get a front row seat to what I'm doing, right in the heart of the action, under the spout as my glory pours out. You can believe it if you expand your trust. You can replace your doubt with my word because it's time for more glory, more love, more peace, and more joy. I am not only a good God, but also great and mighty, and nothing is too difficult for me. You will be amazed at what I do in and through your life if you simply believe me and desire more of me because it causes me tremendous joy to grant you your heart's desires. My love is felt when you are close to me. I don't just have love, I am love, and my love is being directed to you today so that you might get to know me genuinely and concretely. I am more than an obscure notion or belief. I am real, alive, and delivering relief. Because you are my cherished child, I am showing myself to you in ways you did not expect. Today, the Father says, what you see is temporary and changeable, but what you cannot see is eternal and rules over all. God declares, as I am, so are you on earth. Because I am ruling and reigning, you are also ruling and reigning. I govern as king over all the universe, and I have extended the scepter of that authority to you and for you, so that my rule can be manifested in the world where formerly only lack, limitation, sadness, and disappointment were manifested. God declares that lack is departing and that abundance is on its way. Sorrow is fading, and joy is rising within you. Disappointment is shifting, and now is the time to see your soul's satisfaction. God says to reject the false fathers of the global system around you. They promise solutions but simply cause worry and disappointed hope. They reflect only lies, but my truth burns them as dross, and as chaff. They will blow away in the winds of what I am accomplishing in the land and your life, says God. I am bringing you to rest in my purposes' threshing floors. Others may mourn and howl for the day, seeing only darkness and gloom, but I've shown you the morning spread across the mountains of this new day I now lead you into. Only your eyes will see the unfolding of contrary things around you, but you are and will remain secure in my pavilion until the scourge that rages by day and the plague that rages by night departs and is no longer seen forever. Today, the Father says, the serpent of self-knowledge speaks from the tree of your soul, but my Spirit speaks to you from the vine that I am in the center of your being. Abide on the vine and reject the offerings of fake fruit and false fulfillment that your eyes and soul crave. When everyone around you thinks nothing but shortcomings and emptiness, I am the finality of fullness that fills all in all. God says, you are not empty, you are full. You are emptying yourself and being filled with the reality of who I am on the inside. Put your faith in that reality. Anchor your sense of self in who I am in you and who you are in me today, and the illusion of the enemy's lie will dissolve, and my truth that has always been hidden from you will become evident. Put on purity and holiness, says the Father, because you are my wife, and I am betrothed to you. This day, I lead you behind the lattice and into the highest secret region, which the casual and insincere will never know. I have laid the foundations of the natural universe in that spot where deep calls to deep, and from that seat, I have placed you so that you may govern and reign with me in life, not only after death. Physical transformation and healing are occurring. Provision is not merely added to you, but it is multiplied to you unexpectedly. I will make you accepted where you have been rejected. Those who scorned you will clench their teeth in regret when they realize who I have made you be as a receptacle of my reflection and character in the ground, for that is your destined role in me. What you can't accomplish for yourself, the Father says today, I have already done for you in the work of the cross. Work to enter that rest, and the things you long for will spontaneously bow the knee and come to completion in a flash. Let there be an end to muttering and whining, for both stem from a default mentality of lack and exclusion. I have no lack, and I have not excluded you in any manner. You are not left out, you are welcomed. You share in the inheritance of the saints in light, and your status in my kingdom is determined not by what you do or do not do, but by the righteousness I bestowed upon you by the shed blood of the cross. Say in your heart, I will no longer eat from the tree of self-knowledge, rather, I will eat from the tree of God consciousness. Allow my indwelling God consciousness to triumph over the tyranny of self-consciousness, uncertainty, and lack. Those around you do not determine your worth, even if they do take your measurements every day. They haven't realized that the temple I've designed you to be is a city without limits, to which no man can draw a line and say, this far and no farther. The limitations you feel and the constraints you face are human, and they do exist, but there is a God thing I've set in you via the word of the cross that overcomes every barrier and ascends to a place I've prepared for you here by me. Allow that reality to guide and encourage you, and to be a part of every decision you make today. Tell the Adam in you to die and the Christ in you to come alive, the Father says today. I am living, breathing, and walking in you, says the Father, and I have opened an abiding place for you to be where I am. What is born of the flesh is flesh, but you are not born of the flesh. You are born of my Spirit, and the waters of my Spirit are surging in you and through you to cleanse out the dross of disappointment, the refuse of sensuality, so that you may ride prosperously on the high places of the earth. God states that which is born in sin will not have dominion over you, because I have infused you with my presence and lifted you out of weakness so that you may see your reflection in me and reflect that glory out into the world. Born of God, I tell you, learn to tell yourself that. Every day, look in the mirror and say, Thy kingdom come. For I have made you a king and a priest on the earth, just as I am the king and the priest over all creation, world without end. Allow this fact to become a final truth in you, rather than merely a passing thought. The Father says, I have placed my infinity in you. As you reach the end of yourself, you will enter my eternality, which is unaffected by the passage of time or the challenges of the enemy. My life-changing spirit came to you and will always be with you. That is the wisdom that leads you and the truth that sustains you as you bow before me in worship, surrender, and desire to carry out my intentions in your life daily. The Father says, Today was the Word in the beginning, and you were with me and in me even at that time. I knew you before the world was created. I called you, and I set the timing for your arrival on earth to perform my purpose. Your life is not a coincidence. I selected your birthday, gender, mother, and father. I handpicked every hair on your head, as well as your height and amount of days. You are more than just flesh and blood, more than a biological process. You are my chosen ones, and my hand is on you for good, not harm, says the Father. I know you have clay feet. I see how sin has stained you both inside and outside. Say in your heart, Jesus' blood cleanses all. You are spotless. You are clean right now because of the word that I proclaim to you. That isn't what you've always been told, but choose to be a father-pleaser and accept what I say, allowing my feelings towards you to be the dominating ideas to which you attach your sense of worth and value. My love is deep and high enough, with the breadth and scope to wash away every stain and maintain plan A for your life on the table, ready to be brought forth, even as much as the day I took the plunge. The Father says today, I can feel my bride calling for me, and your cries for more of me are drawing my heart ever closer to you. I don't have to look far to find a heart that is completely dedicated to me. It's because you can feel my heart's cry for you. How I wish I could be more involved in your daily activities. I am fascinated by the smallest details since nothing bores me. I am always fully here, constantly delivering newness of life to you. Not just in apparent ways, but true life is sprouting up inside of you right now. My glory is manifesting through you in ways you have never experienced before, yet it appears to be as normal as the air you breathe. Intimate interactions and miraculous encounters with me are your lot. When you have me living inside of you, you are a spiritual giant. There is nothing average about the way I conduct myself. Many people are unaware of what I am doing because it does not fit into their box of hopeless expectations of good. Hope does not disappoint, but rather encourages. You can trust in my willingness and desire to bless you and bring your life into perpetual, even exponential, growth. Glory is ever expanding, not just a trickle or a stream, but a flood of my glory, even tsunami waves of glory, is coming your way, and you will swim in with joyful abandon as I immerse you in my goodness. Allow yourself to believe in the impossible, because that is how it will manifest in your life if you dare to step out and take it. Today, the Father declares that the work of righteousness is peace, and the results of righteousness are quietness and assurance for all time. My wish is for you to live in peaceful habitations, secure dwellings, and calm resting places. The rest that I give you does not come easily. It takes trust along with my word and patience to obtain the promises. My promise is that you will enter my rest, stop doing your things, and avoid unbelief and hardness of heart. Your soft, supple heart, full of my word, is allowing my spirit to flow like a river to those around you, attracting them to my spirit within you. They are looking for solutions that can only come from me. Trust that when you open your mouth, I will fill it. I am the solution for them. If you will move outside of your comfort zone, let go of your trust, and believe that I am capable of assisting them via you, I will. Not just occasionally, but whenever the opportunity arises. You are in and out of season in an instant. You are prepared to respond when someone inquires about the source of your optimism in adversity. Even though you feel defeated, that is a deception from the enemy, since my love is transforming you into more than a conqueror. You have the knowledge, understanding, and supernatural capacity to assist when asked. Be quick to extend a helping hand, to give without judgment, and to be kind and kind to others. You are planting seeds that will grow amazingly in their lives and will also come back to you on every wave. You are entering a period of supernatural involvement. Be prepared and expectant, and you will exult in your potion and what you see transform before your eyes. It's finally time. According to the Father, you are surrounded by a vast cloud of witnesses today. Your loved ones are cheering you on from the heavenly galleries. Run the course I've set before you well and thoroughly. I'm not calling you to second place, I'm calling you to the winner's circle. You win, God replies, for I am with you. You've been hoping for a backer for some projects, and I can tell you that I am your backer and underwriter. What are you waiting for? This day brings healing to your body and heart. Deep emotional and spiritual scars are being healed. My Spirit's oil is streaming in to cleanse the infection of terrible disappointment. God says, receive healing today. Hear what the Father is saying to you this day. Say to your heart. Apply my grace to your emotions and thinking, for I am not denying you anything. God says, I am not denying you, I am delighting in you because this is your season of endearment before me. Today, the Father declares, I am not a barely get by God, I am a more than enough God. This day, I make you drink from my wealth. This day, I take your feet from many waters and place them on the rock that I am, so that you may be established in your coming in and thrive in your going out. Take advantage of my abundance, which I have made available to you today. The heavens above you to shower my favor on you, and the ground beneath your feet to hear and obey the decrees of profound faith in your tongue. Today, the Father instructs us to be God-centered. Allow your thoughts to be in you as it is in me. Know that as I am in the heavens, so are you on earth. This is your right now section. Anxiety is leaving and confidence is on its way. Panic is dissipating and joy is emerging. Isolation and loneliness are fading. Even in the dark seasons, I am coming alongside you to console your heart. My angels come to you while you are sleeping and sing songs of deliverance and salvation over you. I have saved you and I will keep you. I'm saving you, and I'll keep saving you until every need is met and every problem in your life is overcome. God says, decree the decree. Allow my words to be in your lips as a two-edged blade, dispatching and destroying all the evil one's activities against you. That is my kindness to you on this day. That is the value of Calvary fully paid in dividends into your life in a single instant. Exalt in me, God declares, because I will exalt in you. Rejoice in my goodness for my loving kindness. This day, you will drink to your heart's content. Do not be tricked, the Father urges today, in a time of deception in which even the most elect might be deceived. May sheep hear my voice, and they will not follow the voice of a stranger. Follow me, and I will guide you over the turbulent waters until the waves stop and you are encircled by my serenity. Through Christ Jesus, my peace that surpasses all understanding will guard and keep your heart and mind. Let not your heart be worried, because the peace I provide is not the peace of the world. I am preparing a space for you in the here and now, not just in the hereafter. Your life is designed to be lived and enjoyed, with my presence and goodness filling it. Don't settle for a barely surviving standard of living when you wonder how you'll get by every day. Raise your thoughts to recognize that it all begins there. What you think about all the time will build a stronghold of hope or fear. Instead, press into my fullness, which includes everything I have and am expressing in your life. When you love me and keep my words, I love you back and come to you, taking up residence in you and manifesting myself through you. You can partake in the divine essence being produced and fashioned within you only by the Holy Spirit. My style of life is full of joy and calm, and I have high hopes for the future. I am not concerned with what the enemy is doing, he is concerned with what I am doing. Be certain that any outer indications of movement and turmoil are in response to what I am doing. I'm on the offensive, and the adversary is retreating. Rise and realize who you are and what I gave you 2,000 years ago. Appropriate the blessings, reach in and seize them with boldness and confidence because they are yours. Even if you were the last person on the planet, I would have sent my son to die for you because you are valuable. You are my valued property, my child, and I wish to see you walk in the fullness of all that is yours even today. Today, the Father continues, it is time to know in your knower that you are righteous in my sight. You are not at fault. Your heart may condemn you, but I am greater than your heart and am aware of everything. Your heart only understands your history of failure and disobedience. God declares, I have placed those things as far as the east is from the west. If I went looking for your disobediences, I couldn't find them since I blotted them out of my book. Have you erased your failure and immorality from your record? It makes no difference that some will not forgive. It makes no difference if those around you choose to recall what I've forgotten, because they don't change things for you. They just limit their appropriation of love and mercy that might otherwise pour out to them. Inhale the immortality of the resurrection. You now have resurrection power pouring through you. There is a transformation in you right now that is changing you and your circumstances. The transition has occurred. Promotion is taking shape. Healing is on its way. You are God's healer. This is the water of life that I have given you. This is your outpouring, whether anyone else participates or not. That's how much I adore you. My spirit is removing all the rubbish and refuse from the past and completely purifying you. Clean, I say, you are clean because of the word I spoke to you today. Today, the Father declares, I am a good God. I'm not trying to be decent, I already am. I reside on the inside of you, manifesting my goodness, because I am good in myself. You become a partaker of my nature as my nature develops within you. Drink in my goodness, God says. Take in my goodness and soar into profound favor. Today I am granting you favor with those whom you require favor. The heavenly justice gavel is swinging in your favor. What is the penalty? It has been paid. What is the penalty? 2,000 years ago, it was carried out. All that is left for you to partake of and rejoice in as the transition occurs to lead you out of downturn and disappointment and into promotion and blessing in my kingdom. This is the enigma, and this is what the wise and sensible were unaware of until it was shown to you. Say in your heart, I have been given knowledge of the mysteries of the kingdom. My righteousness and my peace are secrets. My joy secrets. The devil is perplexed by joy because he lacks it and has never had it. When you rejoice in my joy, the enemy shakes his head and wonders what to do with you. Never give up your joy. Never, ever give up in defeat. You are more than a conqueror because I am in you. You are not a victim of defeat. This day, walk out that truth in your day, for I am writing the desires of your heart. The Father declares today, you are my offspring, I have begotten you in myself. I have no sickness or anguish, and you are in me. Death has no sway over you. There is no scarcity, only perfect provisioning of my every promise. I will come to the temple that you are in a moment and drive out all those who have made commodities of your love, hopes, and joys. I am restoring you to the full riches of everything Calvary has to offer, right now. According to the Father, I am restoring to you what the years have taken away. Life has taught you some valuable lessons while also putting you on the defensive. I say to you that I am your defender. Therefore stand up and continue on the offensive until you see heaven physically come to earth in your situation. I understand the pain in your heart. I understand the anguish and the load. Take a deep breath of my comfort. I am consoling you and taking you to new territory in me that is untainted by the darkness of the enemy, who has now been completely defeated in your life. Today, the Father says, get the entire benefit of heaven in your heart. I believe in, as in heaven, so on earth. Allow this to be your dominant story for the day. Sadness has been removed as a ruler in your life. Sadness is leaving, and joy is on its way. You will no longer be swayed back and forth by the despair philosophy that life tries to teach you. I say to you, rise in the bow of your lifeboat and command the waters of chance and circumstance to bow to my promise, and you will find yourself suddenly on land. God says, you are maturing into my headship. Man cannot be at the head of anything, so he cannot be ahead. You can, however, receive my headship and lordship again each day and feel an authority that religion and religious expression do not understand. I am showering my favor on you, darling. I am changing the tide of adversity and putting new wind in your sails. Hear my voice as it washes over you, driving out the enemy and cleansing you of the dross of loneliness and misery. It's an indescribable joy moment for you, and you'll feel it and dance in my presence as all your foes fall prostrate before the requirements of my promise in your life. The Father declares today, you are my offspring, I have begotten you in myself. I have no sickness or anguish, and you are in me. Death has no sway over you. There is no scarcity, only perfect provisioning of my every promise. I will come to the temple that you are in a moment and drive out all those who have made commodities of your love, hopes, and joys. I am restoring you to the full riches of everything Calvary has to offer, right now. According to the Father, I am restoring to you what the years have taken away. Life has taught you some valuable lessons while also putting you on the defensive. I say to you that I am your defender, therefore stand up and continue on the offensive until you see heaven physically come to earth in your situation. I understand the pain in your heart. I understand the anguish and the load. Take a deep breath of my comfort. I am consoling you and taking you to new territory in me that is untainted by the darkness of the enemy, who has now been completely defeated in your life. Today, the Father says, get the entire benefit of heaven in your heart. I believe in, as in heaven, so on earth. Allow this to be your dominant story for the day. Sadness has been removed as a ruler in your life. Sadness is leaving, and joy is on its way. You will no longer be swayed back and forth by the despair philosophy that life tries to teach you. I say to you, rise in the bow of your lifeboat and command the waters of chance and circumstance to bow to my promise, and you will find yourself suddenly on land. God says, you are maturing into my headship. Man cannot be at the head of anything, so he cannot be ahead. You can, however, receive my headship and lordship again each day and feel an authority that religion and religious expression do not understand. I am showering my favor on you, darling. I am changing the tide of adversity and putting new wind in your sails. Hear my voice as it washes over you, driving out the enemy and cleansing you of the dross of loneliness and misery. It's an indescribable joy moment for you, and you'll feel it and dance in my presence as all your foes fall prostrate before the requirements of my promise in your life. The Father declares today, you are my offspring, I have begotten you in myself. I have no sickness or anguish, and you are in me. Death has no sway over you. There is no scarcity, only perfect provisioning of my every promise. I will come to the temple that you are in a moment and drive out all those who have made commodities of your love, hopes, and joys. I am restoring you to the full riches of everything Calvary has to offer, right now. According to the Father, I am restoring to you what the years have taken away. Life has taught you some valuable lessons while also putting you on the defensive. I say to you that I am your defender, therefore stand up and continue on the offensive until you see heaven physically come to earth in your situation. I understand the pain in your heart. I understand the anguish and the load. Take a deep breath of my comfort. I am consoling you and taking you to new territory in me that is untainted by the darkness of the enemy, who has now been completely defeated in your life. Today, the Father says, get the entire benefit of heaven in your heart. I believe in, as in heaven, so on earth. Allow this to be your dominant story for the day. Sadness has been removed as a ruler in your life. Sadness is leaving, and joy is on its way. You will no longer be swayed back and forth by the despair philosophy that life tries to teach you. I say to you, rise in the bow of your lifeboat and command the waters of chance and circumstance to bow to my promise, and you will find yourself suddenly on land. God says, you are maturing into my headship. Man cannot be at the head of anything, so he cannot be ahead. You can, however, receive my headship and lordship again each day and feel an authority that religion and religious expression do not understand. I am showering my favor on you, darling. I am changing the tide of adversity and putting new wind in your sails. Hear my voice as it washes over you, driving out the enemy and cleansing you of the dross of loneliness and misery. It's an indescribable joy moment for you, and you'll feel it and dance in my presence as all your foes fall prostrate before the requirements of my promise in your life. The Father declares today, you are my offspring, I have begotten you in myself. I have no sickness or anguish, and you are in me. Death has no sway over you. There is no scarcity, only perfect provisioning of my every promise. I will come to the temple that you are in a moment and drive out all those who have made commodities of your love, hopes, and joys. I am restoring you to the full riches of everything Calvary has to offer, right now. According to the Father, I am restoring to you what the years have taken away. Life has taught you some valuable lessons while also putting you on the defensive. I say to you that I am your defender. Therefore stand up and continue on the offensive until you see heaven physically come to earth in your situation. I understand the pain in your heart. I understand the anguish and the load. Take a deep breath of my comfort. I am consoling you and taking you to new territory in me that is untainted by the darkness of the enemy, who has now been completely defeated in your life. Today, the Father says, get the entire benefit of heaven in your heart. I believe in, as in heaven, so on earth. Allow this to be your dominant story for the day. Sadness has been removed as a ruler in your life. Sadness is leaving, and joy is on its way. You will no longer be swayed back and forth by the despair philosophy that life tries to teach you. I say to you, rise in the bow of your lifeboat and command the waters of chance and circumstance to bow to my promise, and you will find yourself suddenly on land. God says, you are maturing into my headship. Man cannot be at the head of anything, so he cannot be ahead. You can, however, receive my headship and lordship again each day and feel an authority that religion and religious expression do not understand. I am showering my favor on you, darling. I am changing the tide of adversity and putting new wind in your sails. Hear my voice as it washes over you, driving out the enemy and cleansing you of the dross of loneliness and misery. It's an indescribable joy moment for you, and you'll feel it and dance in my presence as all your foes fall prostrate before the requirements of my promise in your life. Today, the Father responds, I'm not coming down there to you. I've already done that. The money has been paid, and the path has been supplied, including the path that I am. You're asking me to do something that I've previously done. Why ask for a second or additional task when you haven't fully utilized the final work that is all yours to enjoy by my hand? Be cheerful. The situation is not hopeless. The end is near, but it is the end of vanity, disappointment, and the closing of hell's mouth, which has been gaping at you night and day. Corruption is leaving, and purity is on its way. This day, I purified you. You are clean because of the word I spoke to you. I'll tell it again, I'm not coming down there to you. You'll have to come up here to me, and you'll find the seat with your place card in front of it. The meal has been prepared. The angels are ready to pour in the oil and wine of my goodness, which transforms every situation. This is heaven come to earth in your heart and your situation, says God, so simply roll over on your back and let the flood of my blessing carry you wherever it will. Today, the Father says, you have passed over the turbulent rivers and are entering your figurative promised land. It has been your most arduous battle thus far, but I have given you the strength to deal with challenging situations and triumph. God declares that you will triumph against all odds. This should be your thinking, therefore don't let minor failures make you afraid and a war casualty. I have not given you a fearful spirit, but one of power, love, and sound mind. You should be confident and aware that you are a winner, a victor, and more than a conqueror in all the changing stages of your life, says the Father. The night season has come to an end, as has the chapter of uncertainty and difficulties, but it also heralds a new day and your new dawn age. Making this transition from the dark to the light and everything that it signifies should be your top concern. You're still on track even if the night is at its darkest, since in the kingdom, night comes before day, and the darkest hour is just before dawn. Your morning is breaking through into the realm of blessings, growth, and repair. This healing will leave no scars from the arrows that flew at you during the day or the pestilence that walked in the nighttime. Today, the Father declares, I am more interested in relationships than I am in real estate. You know you've been called to take territory in my kingdom, and you've been wondering, Father, when are these things going to happen? I say to you, he who manages his own heart is greater than he who takes a city. Without interior conquest, there can be no external victory. Allow the interior territory of a willful heart to be conquered and brought to the foot of the cross, and the external opposition will fall at your feet, groveling for mercy and seeking escape from my unfathomable goodness, which clothed you in a glory brighter than the sun. Outside of Christ, I am not offering you much, says the Father. I have given you the Son, what lesser gift would I withhold from you? Provision, healing, breakthrough. It's all yours. Why aren't you walking in the light of conquest that I've cast upon you? You must comprehend that what I have previously said in your life is far more powerful and accessible than what you are expecting me to say in the future. You don't need any more words. You just need to fight with the ones you have. Then the enemy will fall, and the blessing will arrive, as well as new instructions for the chapters and pages of your life that are still to be written.